What if I told you the future of food wasn't miles away in the countryside, but like right outside your window? Today, we're going to dig into a revolution that's totally changing our cities and what's on our plates: urban farming. So think about this for a second. It's a simple question, but it's a really crucial one. You're at a market, you see this beautiful tomato grown on a balcony, or maybe some lettuce from a cool downtown vertical farm. It looks super fresh, it's local, but is it safe? Like, really, is the water clean? Is the soil free from all the gunk, the heavy metals and contaminants that can build up in a city? Right now, that's the huge question mark hanging over everything.
And it's because farming is going urban. All over the world, and especially in the Philippines, we're seeing this explosion of what's called urban and peri-urban agriculture, or UPA for short. We're talking community gardens, rooftop plots, super high-tech vertical farms just sprouting up between skyscrapers. It's an incredible green revolution happening right in front of our eyes.
But with all this amazing growth comes a pretty huge challenge. I mean, when anyone can be a farmer, how do you make sure everything's consistent? How do you guarantee the quality and, most importantly, the safety for all of us? Without a common set of rules, it's basically the Wild West out there for city farming. Okay, so that's where this comes in. On October 2nd, 2024, a whole group of experts, we're talking scientists, farmers, all the key stakeholders, they gathered for this one really crucial meeting. And their mission? It was to draft the official rulebook, the blueprint that's going to guide and standardize urban farming for the entire nation. Now, the official name is, well, it's a bit of a mouthful: the Philippine National Standard for Good Agricultural Practices in Urban and Peri-Urban Agriculture. Yeah, I know. But just think of it as the master plan. It's the set of instructions that make sure every single urban farm, whether it's big or small, is aiming for that same high bar when it comes to safety and quality.
And let me tell you, they were serious about getting this done. Just look at the schedule from that day. The core discussion, the real nitty-gritty work of hammering out all the details for this blueprint, was scheduled for nearly 5 straight hours. This was not just another meeting. This was a super focused, intense effort to literally build the future.
All right, so let's dive in and see what they were actually building. What exactly goes into a rulebook for an entire industry like this? Well, it turns out you can break the whole thing down into 3 core pillars. Super simple, really. First, it's about how you grow the food. Second, what you do right after it's grown. And third, how you manage the whole operation, from the people all the way to the paperwork. So, let's take a closer look at each one. So this first pillar, it's really all about being flexible. The blueprint covers everything from, traditional ground-based farming in community plots, all the way to the super modern, soil-less stuff like hydroponics and vertical farms. It's designed to work for the farm of today and the farm of tomorrow. Okay, but the standard doesn't just stop once the vegetable is picked. That's where their second pillar comes in. It covers all those critical steps after the growing is finished. We're talking about the best way to harvest it, how to handle it so you don't get any contamination, and even making sure the tools are clean. It's all about keeping that food safe on its journey from the plant all the way to your plate. And finally, the third pillar gets into the people and the process. It's about protecting the workers' health and safety, and, this is huge, it's about data. With really clear record keeping and traceability, it means that if there's ever an issue, say a foodborne illness outbreak, you can trace that head of lettuce all the way back to the exact farm and even the day it was harvested. That kind of transparency, that builds an incredible amount of trust. So, okay, we've seen what's inside the blueprint, but let's pull back for a second and look at the big picture. How does all this actually build a better food system? I mean, why does a document that was hammered out in a single day matter so much to millions of people? What's the so what here?
Well, it really all boils down to this. First and foremost, it builds consumer trust. That's the biggest piece of the pie right there. When you see produce from a certified urban farm, you just know it's safe. And that trust, that directly supports the farmers by giving them a clear way to prove their quality. And when you've got trusted, supported farmers, well, the whole system just becomes more reliable, and that contributes directly to the city's food security. It's a win-win-win.
So when you put it all together, the work they did on that one day, October 2nd, wasn't just about writing some document. It was about laying the foundation for a safer, a more transparent, and a more resilient urban food system for an entire country. It really is a true blueprint for the future.
And that kind of leaves us with one last thought. This blueprint is for the Philippines, which is a massive step forward, but it gets you thinking, doesn't it? What are the rules in your own backyard? How do you really know that the local food growing in your city is safe? It's definitely a question worth asking.